Hi everyone and welcome to the Laser channel. My name is Greg and in this video I'm going to be making this blue acrylic keychain using my Monport K40 CO2 laser machine. Welcome back and thanks for joining me for another video on the Laser channel. The backstory on this project starts with a USB drive and Alaska. I'll show you what I mean when I connect all the dots. Some friends of mine had a most epic trip up in Alaska. They took a ton of pictures, they came back, and all the photos are on their cell phone and their point and shoot camera. Now they're not very tech savvy, so I brought my laptop over to their house and I loaded all the photos onto my computer, and that's where the jump drive comes in because I was going to put all the photos on this. Now, we all have these jump drives, and what happens is they get put in a drawer, and then you can't remember what's on this particular one. And that's where I had the wonderful idea of making a keychain to go with it. And from some of the stories that they told me about Alaska and the blue glaciers that are up there, I remembered that I had some transparent blue 1/8 inch thick acrylic, and I thought this would be a great Alaska keychain fob to go with the USB drive from all the photos on their trip. Let's head over to my machine tool center that's just outside of the frame of the camera. I'll show you the setup that I have on my Monport 40-watt machine, and that'll explain some of the settings that I'm using. I'll show you where I got the artwork for this project, and then I'll jump right into it. This is going to be a pretty quick video because the laser time for engraving and cutting this out is under 4 minutes. Welcome to the work center for my Monport K40 laser machine. We'll take a look underneath the cover in just a minute. Next to the machine is my laptop computer that is running LightBurn software that's connected up to the machine. That's correct, this K40 machine is LightBurn compatible. And over my shoulder is the Monport CW3000 water pump with an included chiller. I call it a cooler because it doesn't have an active refrigerant in it to chill the water down, but it does do an excellent job of circulating the water through the laser tube, keeping it cool as long as the ambient room temperature doesn't get too high. Now I'm ready to show you 1 or 2 updates that I've made in the work area of the laser machine. Inside the work area, the most notable upgrade that I made is this. This is an air assist kit that I've installed, and we can see the air line looping around and going out the back of the machine. This does wonders to really help this machine do an even better job of cutting and engraving. The other thing that it does is it keeps the focusing lens down in here nice and cool, and it keeps any of the smoke debris from coming up and collecting on that exposed lens. The second big upgrade that I applied to the machine, and you can't see it in this view because it's outside of the studio, and that is a very powerful exhaust system. The exhaust system that I have installed outside of the shop, it might be a little bit too much for the size of this K40 machine, but I use it on all of my machines, and especially on CO2 laser machines. It's especially important to evacuate any of the smoke that's in the work area so that it stays off of the lenses, the mirrors that are located here and here. I find with a very good exhaust system, I have to clean my mirrors far less. I've had this machine for several months now, and I just absolutely still love doing projects on this because every time I come out and I connect to the machine does everything that it's supposed to do. And it's a nice compact size when we're talking about CO2 laser machines. In my opinion, this K40 style machine from Monport is the best way to jump into CO2 lasers. See, the price point of this machine is around $500 plus or minus, depending on what accessories you purchase with it. And this is absolutely the lowest price CO2 laser machine that you can buy from a reputable company. That's really the main point of this machine is the price point, but it also has a lot of great features. I could go on and on about it, but I want to keep this video short. And with that, I'm going to jump into the computer now and show you the graphic that I'm using for this and a source to get basically unlimited free graphics for your personal projects. Inside the computer, the first thing that we see is Creative Cloud desktop application software for all of the Adobe products that I use. See, my main career is photography and video, so it makes sense for me to subscribe to all of these products from Adobe. Now, where I got the image for this is I go over to Stock and Marketplace, and we'll wait for the computer to load in for a second. And here, under Free, I can do a search for Alaska. It's going to bring up a new window, and that's going to bring up all of this art. And as long as I keep up to date with my subscription with Adobe, I will have access to all of this free artwork. I clicked on a vector image, and this is the image that I found. If you don't have a need for Adobe, my next favorite place to look for free images is pixabay.com. I use this quite a bit. Just know that if you're doing work for commercial or doing stuff for craft shows, just make sure that you have the correct license and that you're using the image correctly intended by the author. In LightBurn software, I have imported my graphic image. Of course, that's in the middle here. This is what I'm going to be engraving. And this keychain is going to need a keychain hole for the key ring, so that's here in blue. And then the last layer that I have is this large line cutout, and this is going to cut out the entire engraving. Let's take a quick look at the settings that I'm using. For the engraving, I've got that on layer 00. I'm going to be going 75 millimeters per second with a power level of 25%, and lines per inch is fairly low at 250. I found when engraving acrylic, my lines per inch doesn't need to be that high. The line for the keychain ring is a speed of 10 millimeters per second with a power level of 60%. And for the red layer, cutting out the entire object, I've got the same settings again. Now, what's really neat to note about this is because I am using blue acrylic, for those of you that are used to blue laser diode machines, you know you can't really engrave or even think about cutting out blue acrylic, let alone something that is semi-clear. But a CO2 laser machine has absolutely no problems with that, and it doesn't care that this is blue acrylic. This looks great. I'm ready to now load some material into the work area, and let's get started engraving and cutting out this project. The engraving and cutting is all complete. Let's check this out. I could see through the window that the part dropped out, and this looks absolutely awesome. Let's check this out. This looks absolutely perfect. I've got all of this beautiful detail all across the engraving. When I take a look at the cutout here, I've got a nice, clean, crisp cutout all the way around, front and on the back. And when I take a look at the edge, I've got a nice smooth edge, no sanding required. The USB drive is all set with its very own custom Alaska keychain. I had a great time sharing this quick mini project with all of you. If you like this video, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, or ringing that notification bell. Doing any number of those things really helps the channel out, but more so, it's a great way to connect content like this with great viewers like you. Until next time, learn, create, and share.